So let's start by defining what mental health is. Mental health affects the way we think, feel, and act. Mental health is a state of emotional, psychological, or social well-being. It determines how we relate with other people, our cognitive capacity, our perception. Everything has to do with our mental health. You know, when you talk about mental health, what comes into people's mind is a psychotic disorder. But that's not what it means. Mental health is a spectrum. So it's okay to say maybe towards the far left end of the spectrum is optimal functionality, and towards the far right hand of the spectrum is mental illness. All right, so it is possible not to have mental illness and still not have a functional mental health. Every one of us has mental health, just like we have physical health. But the question is, where are you on the spectrum? Where exactly are you? Like we said, mental health affects the way you feel, the way you think, and the way you act. Okay, so let me start by talking about the way we think. None of our thoughts are automatic. None. Every of our thoughts are coming from somewhere. And in a lot of cases, the way you think, of course, affects your behavior, which now affects the way you act, and then eventually the way you feel. So you see people falling into depression, people having issues like anxiety, overwhelming sadness, feelings of rejection, low self-esteem. You see all of these things, they are not automatic, they are coming from somewhere. You have thought about them before you start acting them, and then before you start feeling them. Before you start feeling them, and then you start acting them. So mental health is a subject that, Nigerians have gradually taken seriously, and I'm glad about that. But the level of ignorance and misconception is still very high. People still think that mental health, when you talk about mental health, you're talking about people that are roaming the streets in rags. Like I said, if you are talking about those kind of people, they are probably at the far right end of mental health, at the level of maybe psychosis, where they can no longer function. But every one of us on a daily basis, we have stressors, we deal with issues. Your state of mental health determines how you handle those issues, how you react to criticism, how you function in the midst of trouble, how much you are able to cope with stress. All of these are determined by your state of mental health, right? Now that we have a bit of understanding of what mental health is, I think it's a good time to ask every one of us, how are you? If you are listening to me, you can ask the person beside you, how are you? In a lot of time, when we ask people, how are you? People give automatic response, I'm fine. But this is a good time to ask the person beside you, how are you, like you mean it. Ask genuinely, because a lot of people that tells you I'm fine are actually not fine. People are dying of suicide. We are seeing it in the news. They are dying by suicide. I'm seeing all of this in the news on a daily basis. People are jumping into third mainland bridge. We see that, like, it's so common now, right? And so how are you? So when people say I'm fine, you want to ask them if they are truly fine. How do you know you are fine? And at this point, I'm going to say it's just okay not to be okay, right? It's okay not to be perfect. We live in a society where you're expected to have it well put together. You're expected to be perfect. You're expected to have a perfect life. But it's okay not to be okay. And that should be an encouragement for someone. So if you are sad, it's okay. Dejected, it's okay. Feeling overwhelmed, it's okay. What is not okay is for you to stay in that state and not do anything about it. So in a lot of cases, people could be sad, dejected, overwhelmed, unsure, confused, and people could be happy. People could feel fulfilled, you know. So all of these emotions, they are all coming from somewhere. So it's a good time to ask you, what kind of emotions are you experiencing or are you feeling currently, and how are you? Now, going forward, we need to begin to look at ourselves, you know, be our brother's keepers. We want to be able to check on each other and be a little bit more loving and caring, because people are dealing with a lot. Now, bringing these issues of mental health into entertainment, talking about celebrity, and people who are creatives, it could be a very lonely space and a highly competitive space. And I mean, think about Big Brother. The Big Brother celebrities, you know, they come out of the Big Brother house. Everybody is trying to be endorsed, trying to get this fame. People keep telling you, make sure you make the best out of this. They're looking for money. They want to keep up. You're looking at your mate. It's looking like one person is doing better than you. You know, that puts them on you know, in a lot of pressure. And you notice that they struggle. A lot of them struggle because they are trying to meet up. They are trying to keep up. They want to be sure the other party is not doing better than them. And unfortunately, in this part of the world, it's like when you're out there, like you're a celebrity, you know, people have an expectation or a level of expectation of the way you are supposed to live your life. So it's more like there's this designed life that you're expected to live. You are not expected to make mistakes. You're supposed to be perfect. Your life is supposed to be so good, well put together. And then, you know, because you are like a role model and everyone is looking up to you. So people create this, you know, life, this imaginary life that they expect celebrities to live in. And then the celebrities are under pressure to keep up with that lifestyle. And what is that causing for them? It causes a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, overwhelming sadness, loneliness. And of course, that's another thing. It could be very lonely for them. Because you don't even, if you go out, people want to, you know, it's difficult to just go out like that without people recognizing you. And then what of even trying to keep up with the fame, to protect the fame, to keep being relevant, you know, all of that mounts unnecessary pressure on celebrities or creative or people that are out there, you know, in the entertainment industry. And for the creative too, it could be lonely because people could also misunderstand you. You know, when you get misunderstood, maybe you are trying to come up with something, with an idea, and it's not making sense to people. That alone, or in an environment where we are like this in Nigeria, where the situation could actually make it difficult for talents to thrive. You know, so people are feeling that their talents are not being appreciated. You know, people are not understanding what they are doing. So it might look like people are looking at you, what's all this nonsense that you are doing, because it's not making sense to them. And because of that, you are feeling low, dejected, and lonely. Expectations are high. People are looking up to you. You want to be able to live up to people's expectation. You want to have a perfect life, you know, a life that look very luxurious, a life that look very, that you need a lot of money to maintain, and that could put you under unnecessary pressure. I think it is high time we begin to understand that as celebrities, as creatives, as people in the entertainment industry, we need to take our mental health seriously. We need to cultivate the habit of talking to professional counselors, because before you know it, you could just move, you know, towards the end, you know, at the right-hand side of the mental health spectrum. And you do not want that to happen to you. So how do we take care of our mental health? You need to understand, like I said earlier, it is okay not to be okay. You don't have to be perfect. You don't owe anybody any explanation or any apology. And I think that is a very good place to start from. Please, it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay to be going through stuff at some point. What is not okay is not to do anything about it. And another thing I think you also need to know to take care of your mental health is to find yourself. Who are you? Why do you act the way you do? Why are you worried when people look at you in a funny way? Why do you think everybody is talking about you? Why do you struggle to make friends? You know, why is your relationship, why are your relationships not working? Why are you struggling, you know, with making friends? Why are you a loner? You know, why are you always sad? Why are you always dejected or anxious? What is bothering you? Find yourself. Find why you think the way you do. Why you walk the way you do. Why you make friends the way you do. Go and find yourself. You're going to find out a lot of things about yourself. And I think going to therapy will help you with that. Another way to maintain your mental health is also not to live your life by people's expectation. People are, interestingly, people's opinions and expectations has nothing to do with you. You know, it's about them. People process information based on whom they are, not about you. So you need to get to a point where you don't live your life based on people's expectation. You want to be a good person, right? That's okay. But at the same time, you don't want to live your life based on people's expectation. It will help you. Then prioritize yourself. It's a very good way to also work on your mental health, to protect your mental health. Prioritize yourself. A lot of people say, oh, I like to put other people's before me. I don't think that is right. I mean, this is a Christian forum. Even Jesus Christ says you should love your, I mean, the Bible says we should love our neighbors as ourselves, not more than ourselves. All right? So it's not selfishness to prioritize yourself. It will help you. And then another thing is discover your personality, which is actually very close to finding yourself. All right? And another thing is to invest in your happiness. Like do things that make you happy. Go to the gym, you know, cultivate a healthy lifestyle. Meditate, you know, take time out to just concentrate on yourself, right? Love yourself like your life depends on it. A lot of you find yourself in a relationship where you are struggling. You find yourself where you do not want to be. The reason why you cannot come out is because you don't love yourself enough. It's simple, but it's deep. Because to you, you feel like in your subconscious, like you are getting what you deserve. So if you find yourself, you will actually know what you deserve, and you can pull yourself out of a wrong or a wrong relationship, or a relationship that is messing with your head. So going forward, and let me just conclude with this, that it's high time we start taking our mental health seriously, because there is no health without mental health. In fact, I feel like your mental health could determine whether you're going to make heaven or not. Has capacity to control your spirit and your body. A lot of sicknesses that people are treating is as a result, or as a result of untreated mental health issues, or mental issues that has piled up over the years and not been dealt with. We live in an environment where we have a lot of dysfunctional upbringing. It is high time we start taking our mental health seriously and talking to therapists, because dysfunctional human beings are going to make dysfunctional families. Dysfunctional families are going to form dysfunctional society. Thank you so much for listening to me. You can follow me on Dr. Tolu _The Fixer on social media, or you can visit my website www.instituteofcounseling.org. Thank you.